Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever this is finding you. It is a privilege today for me to be with my friend, Mr. Ryan Walseth. We call him Wally, but Ryan, Wally, thanks. You just caught a flight from Minneapolis, drove from the airport to sit here and be with me. That's crazy.
You say jump, I say how high.
Let's go. I
appreciate it.
I owe you. That's all I can say. This is going to be epic. I start these a lot of different ways, but this one, I'm going to tell the story of how we met, and then we're going to go left and right of that. We're going to go, who is this person back in history, and where is this person going? I'm just going to plop it right in the middle. I was in Minneapolis doing a day on the street with another tremendous power player, Mr. Jesse Mills, and at the end of that day, he was hoping that we would have a connection with some of his friends later that evening to have dinner and just chill. We've been going since 7 a.m. till 7 p.m, and okay, it's time for dinner and just spooling down, and it's his day to plan, and so, all right, I'm going along for the ride. And we met at this restaurant that was down on the lake, and we had a great dinner, and although there were quite a few people at the restaurant, so not a lot of, it's kind of loud, not a lot of talking there, the after party, we went from there, and he said, come on, Wally's going to take us out on the boat, and we walked, 100 yards to some boat slip, and there's this gorgeous, what is it, about 40 feet roughly?
35, yeah.
35, 40 feet. And I don't know, a dozen of us got on this boat, and off we went in a beautiful evening, a summer evening, out on the lake. And I just set myself up for just like, I'm just going to chill and relax and being on the water and the stars. Well, that chill and relax, I was back at work within minutes, because here you're driving a big boat. This isn't like my silly little boat. This is a big boat. You can hit things with it if you don't know what you're doing. Lots of bumpers, lots of ties, backing it out, all this stuff in the dark, navigating the waters, okay? Lots of people that are thinking about anything but driving the boat. So they're in the way, basically, but okay. Then the playlist starts on an iPad, and the sound system was incredible. The hospitality was in full motion. And I was watching you handling it all. You were the one-man show. The boat, the music, seeing that everybody was taken care of. And I just kept watching it, looked away for a minute, and then the photo bite of all photo bites, I turned around, and evidently there was like a pop roof above you in this boat that I hadn't really noticed before, because all I saw was your legs sticking through. You're steering the boat with your feet. You're adjusting the playlist while handing somebody a beverage. And I went, oh my God. And I took a picture of this. I watched competence and hospitality meet perfectly. And I, all of a sudden, as I tend to do, I got those two words now in my head, competence and hospitality, and I was a student for the next several hours. I was a student. I just watched you do your thing, the playlist. You knew your audience's favorite songs. You were rotating. You were making sure everybody's happy. You're steering the boat. You're pointing out every house on the lake, who owns it, what they do. That's my picture of that evening. Now, I also have a feeling like you've done this before. And as I've gotten to know you, I've dug into this concept of over-delivery. There's delivery Let's do my job. But then there's creating a memory and an experience that nobody forgets. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about where did that come from? Because this is not, you don't see this every day. Where did it come from?
Thank you. That was one of those magical evenings where you meet some new people and you introduce them to your environment, right? My environment. You're coming from out of town.
Yep.
You're a guest.
Yes.
And not only in the Twin Cities, and I thank Jesse Mills for introducing us. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for him. So thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
But when somebody comes into town, I mean, you want to treat them to, the best restaurants, the best places, the best experience. So it's about hospitality. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of different dynamics as far as the personnel that were on the boat, right? I mean, they're coming from kind of all walks of life.
All over.
And so it's a bit of a juggling act to make everyone there, all, 12 people plus or minus, all feel like they're like the first mate.
Right.
Right? And they don't have to do anything. And that's the amazing thing about being out on the water is like just... There was a time I picked some people up and they're like, so what are we going to do? I'm like, we're doing it.
Right.
We're
whatever you can do on a floating boat in that lake.
I said,
we're not going anywhere.
Do whatever you want. I got everything taken care of.
Right.
And to your point, as far as hospitality is concerned, I think a lot about it because it's a feeling and it's about the environment. It's about the music. It's about the temperature. It's about the connection, right? And when people are in that type of environment, they can kind of let their hair down and be a little bit vulnerable. They can kind of leave things on shore, whatever they have going on in their life. Everyone's got their struggles. Once they get on the boat, I want them to kind of forget about all of that and just be in that space and be as comfortable as possible, because when you're really, really comfortable and you're connected and there's a vibe, then like that's the best feeling that one you can provide, but two, just a feeling that you can just experience. And that was one of those magical nights as far as the weather was concerned, as far as the group was concerned. And it's you get a handful of those a year, especially in Minnesota, right? And so it was serendipitous, to say the least.
Okay, so take this, and now I'm introducing another fact. We're going to go this way, then we'll go this way. You're one of the most successful real estate brokers in the state of Minnesota. Okay,
working on it.
Well, you're one of the top, and the peers and clients talk of this over delivery. They talk of this all-in kind of thing. Do you proactively try to create that kind of experience with the sellers and the buyers you work with as a real estate broker?
Yeah, it's...
and what does that look like in that environment?
Yeah, real estate, as far as residential real estate, aside from the investment side of things, is it's a feeling, and it's a very emotional transaction. Whether it's you're buying your first home, you're moving up, you're downsizing after becoming an empty nester, you're moving into one level living. I mean, it's these life transitions, and there's a lot of emotion to it. And sometimes people say it's like it's 50% logic and 90% emotion, and it just doesn't add up. And there's so many different personalities as far as buyers are concerned, as far as sellers are concerned. And the wild thing is there's agents on both sides.
Right.
Like when you buy a car, there might be a little bit of emotion, but there's not two agents that are, infusing their opinion or their ego or anything else like that. And so there's a lot of navigating. And so the more that I can educate, and I think that's a big part about hospitality is educating people about the process. And so I spend a lot of time with that to make them feel comfortable, so then they can make a confident decision as far as their real estate is concerned. And there's two there's two definitions of hospitality that I think about a lot. And one is you enjoy creating spaces and environments that people love to be a part of. And so that can be as far as boating is concerned, that can be as far as my short-term rentals are concerned or mid-term rentals, or working with the buyer and seller. Like they want to be a part of it. And then the other one is a little bit more extreme is you light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And I think about those a lot, whether it's
Never heard that.
business or personal. And so I see it as like delivery, not over delivery. And that comes with preparation, you know?
I think just that statement there, that your opinion of a standard is that, no, this is just delivery, this extraordinary delivery. I would tell you that in a comparative world, it's way over delivered. But I love that. I think that therein lies the opportunity that, you know, this feeling that I'm going out of my way is what I do, and that isn't a problem, and that's what I want to do. That's what we're known for. We just it's almost a concierge sort of mentality around life, and I like that a lot.
I think about my environment a lot. I'm a big. I went to a retreat this last year in Sayulita, Mexico, and the two gals that hosted the retreat, they did. It's like a personality test, you know, like a Myers-Briggs or a DISC profile, but it's called human design. And they went through it, and one of the things that they said is you take in your environment, and you kind of react to it, or you kind of adapt to it. So I see a lot of things that a lot of other people don't see when I'm in certain environments, and I'll turn some dials, literally or figuratively, to make the environment feel more hospitable. So I think it's a part of, I know it's a part of my human design. So there's little things that I'll tweak that people won't notice, but then they feel a little bit better, but they might not know why they feel better.
You know, I had the privilege of building a really beautiful house. I built a bunch of them, but this one in particular was really beautiful.
Yeah, one of one.
And the year of architecture and design, the building of a full-scale model of it before we even broke ground, the intricacy of the plans that were just so thought out. I didn't completely get why all this detail, but was committed to pulling it off exactly as I trusted the architect. And okay, here's what we're doing. But boy, I'll tell you, when it all got done and you'd walk into a room and it would just take your breath away. You wouldn't even be able to really explain it, but it was the toe kick lighting, or the way the varnish looked with this light on it, or the steel against the wood, or these contrasts, and these all deliberate, but creating a unison of a feel that. And I thought, this feel is a creation by design, around detailed design, that it creates this feeling. There are 8 fireplaces in the house. You couldn't go anywhere there wasn't a little fireplace going. 8 of them in one house. Yeah. That kind of thing. You sit in the bathtub, there's a fireplace in the bathtub.
Incredible.
You go, God, this is just freaking me out. But it's like, it creates such an environment. Okay, now take that and riff on it. Talk to me about how important the people you surround yourself with are when you think in terms of how important environment is.
It's vital, whether it's personal or it's professional. And putting people in the best place for them to excel in their contribution to the environment. So you got your right brain and you got your left brain. And when left brain people are doing right brain stuff, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing as far as the day at the hangar. The right brain stuff, I mean, I'm sailing. I feel so good. And then you get to the left brain stuff and my gears are grinding. And I'm wrestling through. So what I look to do is complement my business with people that excel in my case, the left brain kind of stuff. Right. So it's the very complementary is what you need to look for. And whether it's in business or it's life or in sports, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you take classic example of some of these basketball teams. There's 5 guys out there, and if 3 of them are ball centric,
right,
it's not going to work. It doesn't matter if they're all stars, right?
Right.
And so it's important to have Batman and Robin, and not Batman and Superman. So it's complementary as far as the so understanding the different personalities and surrounding yourself with the right people, which is what you've done for all these years and all the different transactions that you've done. You have people in place at every single step of the way. And when we were on our coaching call this last week, like our real estate attorney, 1031 guy,
right,
real estate centric CPA, right,
and
title, et cetera, et cetera.
Real estate tax attorney, separate,
masters in tax and whatever.
Right.
I mean,
So
which allows you to do what you do best.
Well, and this, I think, though, you say it, and I completely agree with you that it goes from, how important that is in setting the table of a team in your business. But I think about it in your personal world too. That the value of a potpourri of humanity. In other words, if I see people that this is the only kind of human they hang out with, it's just this group of people that do the same exact thing here and this and that and this and that, and there it is. And they're great friends and they know each other and it's all great, but the world's fairly narrow. One of the things that I noticed on your boat, and I didn't get to know anybody. I already knew Jesse, and that was pretty much it. But there was a real eclectic slice of humanity, and which it made for a rich sauce. And everybody was learning, and everybody was
flavors.
leaning in a lot of different flavors. And I to me, I really like that too. It's people tend to have this little snapshot in their head, an Instagram photo, as it were, of, this is what success looks like. And I got to tell you something that is just, that's the greatest misnomer, that success comes in all kinds of currencies, all kinds of people, left and right brain, all sorts of experiences and cultures. And I don't know, to me, when we surround ourselves with good people that we can learn from, I want to be the guy that's always learning in the group I'm in.
It reminds me of a quote that says, if you don't like the people around you, change yourself.
Right.
And that's one of the things I got to a certain point where I needed to make a change for the better. And that was part of going on the retreat to Sayuli to Mexico. And it was a human design and Kundalini yoga and something I had never done before. And I flew down there on my 45th birthday. So, I mean, it's old dog, new tricks, right? And then stacking on top power players. And that's, talk about life-changing in the course of a matter of a few months. And it's been spectacular. And like you talk about the, what is it? The garage sale of humanity? Is that one of your, to quote you, one of your Pinneoisms, if you will?
Right, yep.
And I think about that a lot. And these people that come from all different walks of life and they're just all blended together, and it feels good. It feels
does.
really good.
And your quote that when you change yourself, I think Jim Rohn said, when you change yourself, you change everything around you. And all of a sudden, everything changes because you changed the center of that sphere, that lens. So I think it puts a calling, growth being the grail. That change and growth is how you stay interesting and interested, right?
Yep.
You're expanding all the time. And who wants to be the same day in and day out? I get that with core values, or I get that with, the basics of who you are. But in terms of humanity and growth, it's got to happen. Big time. Yeah. Take me back to some original influences. Obviously, your parents. Give me a picture of young Wally and what was installed in your head when you were a kid.
Yeah, I grew up in Northeast Minneapolis.
Sounds damn cold.
And yes, Minneapolis. Generally, yes. I started skating, ice skating, when I was 2.5. So that was just a way of life. And you would blink and winter was over when you're in. The first winter that I didn't play hockey, once I graduated high school, I played some intramurals in college, but not next level. That was the longest winter of my life because I didn't have hockey 8 days a week.
No skates on.
Yeah. And so it's kind of your Scandinavian Catholics, Lutherans, and a lot of people would move there for your starter home, and they'd blink and 30 years go by and they're in the same home, and they loved it. And it was easy. It was convenient. A lot of blue collar, mixed in a little bit of white collar, but it's, play softball in the summer and go to the cabin on the weekends. And then, a week in Florida or Mexico in the winter time. And you knew everyone at the local watering hole when you go there to get a neon tan during the winter. And, and it was great. And both sides of my family grew up, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, all within, a certain number of...
From both sides of your family, they're all right there.
Yep. And
Holy
the streets in Northeast Minneapolis go in order of when the presidents were in office. So grandparents lived on Washington. My dad's parents lived on Pierce, cousin on Cleveland. I still have an uncle on Adams. I own property on Madison. My aunt and uncle were on Johnson, and I grew up on Taylor.
Unbelievable.
So, and it was just classic upper Midwest core values.
Is there any one street that's worth more than the other based on who the president was? Is there like a Broadway or anything?
There's a Broadway,
Kennedy really a highly sought after street?
Yes. Yeah, Broadway actually runs past all of them.
When did they cut it off? When was the last president represented?
That's a really good question. Is Polk and Cleveland and
you're not going to be developing Biden Avenue anytime soon, are you?
No, it was cut off several years, and there was
not
no
meant
Clinton,
to be a political
Bush,
statement. I just thought, oh my gosh.
But genuine upper Midwest core values.
Yeah,
you go to school, get a good job. You work hard, 9 to 5, weekends off.
Right.
And
So the values, the core values, I'm going to assume for the most part have stayed with you. What did you see in the examples you had that really intrigued you, that sparked wow, maybe I could do that someday. Wow, maybe there is that for me. Were there any examples of things you saw or read at a young age that, it's kind of like the Blue Angels flying by and you go, I'm going to be a pilot someday, that kind of thing? Anything like that?
It was a lot of observation. I was very shy up until junior year of high school. And so I was just kind of taking everything in, but didn't have a lot of confidence to dream big. But the beautiful thing about my upbringing is there was a lot of stability. So I knew if I did step out, I would have a bit of a soft landing, right? There was always support for it. So I was building my education, instilled work ethic. And then it wasn't until like after college that I started meeting some of the clientele in my first like adult job that became more worldly and like bigger vision and just kind of the way that they thought, they operated, and then started to turn the dial up a little bit and take some more chances.
Was any of those people that you were watching, were any of them involved in real estate?
When I got into my first real job?
Yeah.
Yes. So when I graduated from University of Minnesota, Duluth. So Minneapolis is cold. Duluth is
real cold.
A few hours north, and it's on Lake Superior. So, I mean, it's next level. And it's a beautiful town. And it's really blossomed, too, over the course of the last, like, 10 or 15 years since I've been out of college. But I got a degree in exercise science with a concentration in adult fitness because I was fascinated by, like, health and wellness and human anatomy. And then I sat down with my advisor when we're getting close to graduation, and I said, John, what do I do next? Like, what do I do with my degree? I had no idea. He's like, well, you get a job at a health club as a personal trainer. And I'm like, really? So I applied at a couple and got a job in close to Minneapolis and worked there for 3.5 years. And I liked it. I didn't love it. But one of the things that I found out was I'm not motivated by other people's goals for me. Right? So let's say I did 10 or 15 personal training sessions that week. Let's say 15.
Yeah.
The manager would come to me and it's like, all right, Wally, next week, your goal is 17. I'm like, I could do 12. I could do 16. I could do. I'm not going to call you up and say, Greg, I know we normally train twice a week, but can you come in a third time this week?
So I can meet my goal.
My goal, not your health and wellness goal. So I had an opportunity to leave and go work as an in-home personal trainer. So took a couple clients with me, started working out with them at home, and then I started paying royalties to a local exercise fitness retailer that anytime somebody bought a piece of equipment over X amount of dollars, they get a free in-home orientation on how to use that equipment once they got home. So I'd go to their house and, show them how to use whatever. And then that was my lead to upsell them in in-home training. And so self-employed. And I remember sitting down, I was with my parents, my aunt and uncle, and they're like, all right, so your rent is this, your car payment is this, your groceries and whatever else. And you're paying more than that, more than your entire monthly, not just for a non-guaranteed number of leads. What are you doing? Like, don't. So of course I did it. And
so I did it.
And it was $1,500. My rent was like $500.
Right.
$1,500. They could have gave me 3 leads a month or $1,300. I had no idea. And so I wanted to get rid of that $1,500 a month payment as quickly as possible. So I started networking with various people in health and wellness. So chiropractors, massage therapists, dietitians, wellness coaches, whatever. And I met this chiropractor in an affluent neighborhood outside of Minneapolis, and he referred me to a Fortune 500 CEO in a country club neighborhood. And so I started training him and his wife and his kids. And that CEO referred me to another CEO. That CEO started training him, his wife, and his kids. Referred me to, and there's 17 Fortune 500s in Minnesota, which is one of the highest per capita in the entire country. So I went from Ecolab to Target to Cargill, which is the largest privately held company in America, Piper Jaffray, Delta, which we just flew in on, and started training kind of the who's who of the business community in the Twin Cities. And they literally, like, I'd have a training session with them, and one just flew in from the World Economic Forum in Davos and was sitting next to Vladimir Putin.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I'm in my 20s. I'm like, I'm going to Milwaukee for a bachelor party this weekend. We're on a little bit different wavelength. And so, but one of the things that I worked hard at was fixing them, because they had to perform just like athletes. So you got to be on.
Right.
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 And then protecting their identity. Right. Because very, very high profile. You could see them on CNN, CNBC, and whatever else. And so that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
So one of my personal training clients became my first real estate mentor, Mr. Jim Guerin. And he came from a commercial real estate family out of Chicago, which they weren't in the mafia, but he went to high school and grade school with people in the mafia. And so some fascinating stories as far as that's concerned. But he moved to Minneapolis and opened an office, commercial real estate office. And he was a 35-year commercial real estate vet. He's like, why don't you should buy a duplex and live in one side and rent out the other side. And I'm like, okay.
little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Get going. Yeah.
And then I managed a 10-unit brownstone for him. We bartered for rent while he mentored me in real estate, and I personally trained him.
God, I love that kind of organic collaboration, right? When everybody's getting what they want, but you're helping each other, and each has an expertise to bring. So when you started buying some real estate, was it then that you decided to look into getting a license and be involved on the brokerage side?
Not as quickly as I should have. I bought my first investment property in November of 2006.
Okay. Nice timing.
Timing's really never been my thing. I'm hoping the whole power players thing is
top of market, and right.
I'm hoping the back nine I have a little bit better timing than my front nine. The market crashed like an hour and a half later, but I had roommates. I had tenants on the other side, so all I had to do is pay some utilities.
Weather the storm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, the value of it dropped 30% within the next few months. Still have it to this day. We went through one, and then I bought the neighbor's duplex, and then the other neighbor's duplex, and the other neighbor's duplex, and the other neighbor's duplex. And that's where a bit of my brand comes from.
Right.
Because I would joke with my friends. I said, if I can get enough houses on this block, I'm going to try to rename it Wally Boulevard. And what turned into a personal brand started off as a joke. And then people started, when they'd come over to my place, they're like, oh, this is Wally Boulevard, whatever else. And it took on a bit of a hospitality feel.
Right.
And so here we are.
Can I put you up? Are you kidding? I got a few.
Yeah.
God, that's awesome. What did your dad do for work?
He worked in a warehouse that was right across the street from the Minnesota State Fair. And the reason why that's significant is that gave me my first job, because the Minnesota State Fair attracts 3 million people in 10 days.
Holy
And
smokes.
it's the largest in the country. It's that or the one in Texas, but the Texas one's like 20 days long or whatever.
Wow.
So it's insane, absolutely insane. And it was a table pad manufacturing company. And he loved it. He loved the people that he worked with. He had a patent, and they had operations in Portland, Maine, San Francisco, St. Louis, and St. Paul, Minnesota. And one of, as far as supply chain is concerned, they had to eliminate one of the ones in the middle of the country.
Right.
And unfortunately, it was St. Paul. So he had worked right out of college. He went to the University of Minnesota for a couple of years, wrestled there, and then left, got into, kind of the manufacturing side of things. So it was the, 9 to 5.
9 to 5, yeah.
And
mom was a stay-at-home mom?
She was. Originally went to business school, and she worked for a judge, kind of a famous judge that you would see on, an infomercial, where it's like a bankruptcy attorney, dial LAWYERS for, bankruptcy advice or whatever else. So she worked, as a clerk for one of the judges in town, kind of a famous judge, Miles Lord.
Huh.
Which is like an incredible name for a judge.
Sounds like a judge. Yeah, right.
And then when my brother and I got to elementary, she started working at the school part-time so she could be with us in the morning and then afterwards. So, but back to being across the street from the Minnesota State Fair, there's people that just work 10 or 11 days a year and they make a few $100,000 just off the State Fair, and then the rest of the year is kind of gravy.
Right, like a tree lot, like a Christmas tree lot. Mm-hmm.
So we helped park cars. So I was like 14, running around a dusty parking lot, helping direct cars, and got paid $5 an hour cash.
Yeah,
it
works.
And so
I don't know. Those are very, like I said, they're homespun, but they create a work ethic. They create great values, and you do see opportunity. I love that sort of. Of course, throughout Christmas tree lot, but I had a Christmas tree lot in college, and 2 weeks of really hard work, but you could make a Coleman cooler full of cash and get out of there. And
you don't want to do it 50 weeks a year.
No, but 2 is
you can grind it out for a couple.
Really awesome. Yeah. Take me to, this is a kind of another left turn. The buying of real estate and being an investor in real estate, which you are, is a really different hat than the brokerage side, although under the same umbrella of real estate. How do you wear those hats seamlessly?
It's a lot, because I'd love to be a resource for everyone. I'm really active on social, and I love to educate. And so whether it's brokering $1 million plus deal, a starter home, an investment property, a midterm rental, a short-term rental, I'm fascinated by all of it, and it takes me in so many different directions. And that's one of the things that is a blessing and a curse, because you can get distracted really easy.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm transitioning a little bit more into the presenting side of things, the education, and so where I can educate more of the masses as opposed to the one-on-one. But I'd love to empower people about, especially as far as investment real estate is concerned. And the fascinating thing about going to Power Players, studying it prior to going to Power Players, and then now applying it, is it's a whole different world. And I feel like some of the restrictions, a lot of the restrictions on possibilities of especially scaling, which is something that we talked about in our very first coaching session, is I feel like I've been kind of handcuffed by the way that I've been investing in real estate. And so I'm just...
Well, from a practical sense, when you're using, conventional lenders and there's loans to one borrower, you're at your limit. Now you got to go somewhere else. And, so I think that anything that can open the playing field up on multiple ways of controlling that property, not necessarily even buying it, controlling it, lease option, the tools of real estate that allow you to get done what you got to get done. The more tools you have, the more you get done, right?
It's unbelievable. So I'm glad I have the foundation that I have.
Yeah.
And now being able to build by layering on what's taught in your mastermind groups is like,
it's pretty awesome.
It's vast,
I feel like both you and I would just, I know that I'm in chorus here, that even leaving from here, we're heading to Seattle, and we'll be joining 100 Power Players in a room. They're flying in from everywhere for tomorrow. But tonight it's just Power Players. And quite honestly, it's just like, I when they check ID at the door, I just can't believe they let me in, because this room is so awesome and talented and giving. And I don't know, it's just a mind-bending experience how different and yet how connected they are. And that's in the center of it is they're extraordinary in their mind, their thinking, their willingness, their transparency. I don't know, they're an amazing group of people. And so to kind of have that backdrop and that support system, it really allows you to hit the gas.
It's really empowering, and a word that I've used more in the last like several months than I've used in the previous 45 years of my life is urgency.
Urgency.
And that's one of the things that I have like quadrupled down on, which is exciting. It's motivating. It's like, I mean, it's empowering. You know, and there's some fantastic power players that are just in the Twin Cities area that I'd kind of heard of. But the community that you build and then the tools that you give to people to have the confidence to go out and do these things. I mean, went on appointment a week afterwards with an incredible opportunity that I wouldn't have even looked for or considered myself worthy enough to be in that room. And one of the things that you don't see, you might not see, is there's WhatsApp groups of, you know, from like the Tucson power players. And it's very active every day. You know, supporting each other and, you know, talking about deals and trying to help, because everyone wants to see everyone else win. And that's the difference between this and like a lot of other real estate centric competitive environments. That is because there's so much opportunity out there of the ways
I feel
that you can build wealth.
Really so blessed to be a part of it. So blessed to just, you know, they're like my kids. I mean, and all of you, I mean, hell, I have kids your age. So, I mean, it feels that way to me. And, but I do think that that's a huge piece. When you were just even, I think a little over a week ago, you're prepping for going into a big meeting. These are some heavyweights in there that know their shit.
And we got a second meeting, by the way.
Yeah, second meeting. Oh yeah, beautiful. Well, the idea of like, no, I can bring this educational value to this group and lay out a few things that from a deal structuring perspective really need to be thought about here, and to lay it out there among attorneys and CPAs and financial planners and things. It's like, I don't know, to me that's that kind of competence allows you to walk into any arena and hold your ground and hold respect of people. But it's like anything. You've got to really, really be committed to it, which means displacing all the shit that we spend time on that doesn't add up to anything, and put a sense of urgency on things that are important, right? Things that matter, things that add up, things that will show results. And to me, when you're a part of a group that feels that sense of urgency, God, I have these dreams, Wally, I swear, of you know, busloads of power players showing up on some 80,000 person town that's perfectly located in the know and just deploy, you know, just go stand people up, make them feel better than they ever felt, perform, do what we say we're going to do with all the toolbox. I don't know. I know that sounds dreamy, but quite honestly, I can't think of a city in this country where there isn't a group of power players stirring it up. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the different age ranges of people that are in power players. And there's one, Mackenzie, who just moved to Minneapolis.
Well, I was just going to say, we're both looking here at Mackenzie. Mackenzie first went to power players when you were 16, right? 16. And you were there with people in their 60s and 70s. Or John, maybe John was there. Yeah, he was almost 80.
And the urgency that she has, I'm like, I'm 45 and she's got urgency like she's 75. And I'm like, slow down. But it moves me. And also, meeting up with Rajab and Rafiq and Julie Moore, who's 21, 22?
She went to Power Players first when she was 16. And
Jet
again when she was 18.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible that it's not just a bunch of old white guys that are sitting around trying to do commercial real estate.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like...
No,
it's an incredible community and very complimentary, which is beautiful.
I get these how do I say it? These help Mr. Wizard calls, and one was from a person signed up and coming to Power Players, and they were already in, they filled out their intake form, they're excited to come to Power Players. So they fill out this intake form, and I have some questions on it, and I give a call and I say, so tell me about this particular property. Something seems a little strange here. And that's all I had to say, and what followed was just this horror story of them proactively finding the deal, them meeting with the seller, them having studied some stuff even before Power Players, knowing exactly that this could be done with a very basic note and deed of trust structure, having it all laid out, and then the critical mistake, as they would state it, that they made was sharing this deal at a mastermind. And all of a sudden, it's like dust flew. They were approached from one of the sort of guy that had been a part of the group a long time, who sort of swooped in and said, let me help you. And the next thing you know, the title was in that guy's name. The control was in that guy's name. He didn't bring money. He didn't bring anything. He just sort of stole half the deal. And here they're sitting with this now that's a great property that they found, that they had structured, but because they went out and sort of tried to ask for just sharing to the group, not really even asking for help, just sharing to the group, sort of swooped in and grabbed half of it. And I'm reading this and I'm understanding the situation, went to Power Players, and after Power Players, I followed up. I said, okay, now we've got this under our belt. Tell me what you want to do about this, because this isn't right. And so it isn't always warm and fuzzy. Yeah. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But there is this is like a situation that is why people are afraid to open up to groups. You've heard it say, oh my God, you hear about a deal. I mean, don't tell it to your mother until you've got recording numbers, because somebody will steal it. Somebody will drive the price up. Somebody will want a piece of this or that. And, all this paranoia over that. And I got to tell you, if I ever heard something like that happen within the Power Players community, I'd fire this damn plane up so fast and be on your doorstep, because we just don't do that. We don't do that.
It never crossed my mind.
It would never cross your mind. You're just there trying to say, I want to see what I can do to help you go do this. Go for it. You got this. And anyway, I got a little involved in that deal because it got under my skin. And I guess the end of the story is that they now own it 100%.
Beautiful.
And it was... I at least had some ideas on what buttons to push.
Yeah.
So you don't want to feel like when you're walking into a group of peers doing the same thing that you got to have your armor on and a sword. That's the last place you want to feel like that. You want to feel like we can just talk about who we are, about what it is to be human, about the challenges we've got going or the opportunities, and that we help each other. Is that so difficult, that concept? But damn, it's like nowhere anymore. And yet, to me, that's what makes what's coming up this evening for us all just really special. Because you'll see another yellow lanyard, you won't even know it. You'll know they went to Power Players. And so there's an understanding, like, we're going to treat each other well here. We're going to work it out,
and I think that's a testament to the Day at the Hangar events, because you lay it all out there. You get the right brain stuff, the left brain stuff, and then the expectations are really, really clear about what it is to be a part of this community. So that's a filter prior to the commitment. And I went to 2 of them before the full-on Power Players.
Yeah.
But also the beautiful thing about the first day of Power Players, that the throwing people off balance, and then when you put a bow on it, to use your phrase, everyone understands why you threw everyone off balance, and they leave with like the community and complementary like team mindset that blankets the entire country now.
Well, it does, and it's so much fun. Ryan gets a call every week. Hey, Ryan, I'm headed to wherever. Fill in, Cleveland, Austin, whatever. Doesn't matter. And shoot me the Power Players in Austin. The next thing I do, I get a picture. I get a picture, and here's someone who doesn't live there. Here's the ones there. It's like they've known each other forever. People get all weird about that. Like, what is this about? Is this something weird? Is this? No, it's not. It's every religion, every orientation, every this, every that. It's just like fucking do the right thing and be honest and support people, because that's what you want in your life. That's where we're all the same. We all want that. I just think we've forgotten to think that it actually could be out there, but it can be, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
And there's 2, I guess, observations that I make as far as being in the fitness industry for a long time and attending a lot of conferences, and then being in the real estate industry for a long time and attending a lot of conferences. There's a lot of what I call professional conference attenders that just go to, there's collect, never apply. And there's a kind of it's not even necessarily stated specifically, but when you're leaving there that you're going to apply it. And that's the difference. And that's why I think other people in the industry that have not attended it, but have gone to other, conferences or whatever else, like, man, I went there and I spent X number of dollars on it, and I invested time and money and resource and whatever. Went there and I learned a lot of really cool stuff, but I got home and there maybe wasn't the community behind it. And so didn't have the confidence to apply it, or just went back and just went back to doing what they were doing prior to the conference.
Yeah.
And so that's like walking out of Power Players in Tucson. I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to do a deal very soon.
Right, using these tools.
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes to the support behind it too. That everybody's rooting for you, everybody's checking in, everybody's wanting to be a part of it. And to me, that's like what a team should be, right? If you're out elk hunting with 10 guys and 8 of them come back to camp, everybody else gets dressed and goes, well, get your headlamp. We're going to go find them. That's all there is to it. There's no real thinking about it. We're together on this thing. So I love that camaraderie. And I know it's kind of an old school thing, but then again, you agree with that, and you're not even, are you 19?
But it just in general, as far as like Gen Z is concerned, where you grew up, like you've had internet your entire life, you've had cell phone, like this immediacy and potentially lack of interpersonal connection, and when you can go a little bit analog and go back to kind of the way things used to be, but teach, whether it's Gen Z or it's millennial or it's Gen X or boomers, put them all in a room take the technology away and physically write out boilerplate contracts, which is insane, in a good way.
Yeah.
And have every single generation all on the same page. That's, I think, where the next level connection is made. And to your point, and you said this, you're like, we're in Tucson, Arizona at a beautiful resort where there's golf and there's pool and there's a spa. And y'all are in here at 9:00 on a Saturday night talking about rap notes.
Grinding.
You're sick. And that, like, I looked around and I smiled. I'm like, this is my circle.
Yeah.
This is where I want to be.
Right.
You know?
You're doing what nobody else is doing, and isn't that learn to love what most people won't tolerate is it definitely hey, there's a picture of my dad, soundbite of that. And I think that you can find that can be a very lonely thing. It doesn't have to be. When you know that there's other people that think the way you do, and you can text somebody saying, well, it's 4 a.m., I'm getting rained on like you can't believe, out doing what I said I would do every morning.
Yeah.
And you text just one or two people that go, hit it, brother. Just that, knowing that there's another out there as crazy as you are. The mad ones, right?
Yeah.
The mad ones.
I got something for you. And this can be, you can edit this out if you want, but I was trying to figure out timing of this, and it's kind of serendipitous as far as quotes, the mad ones.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
A bit of a thank you.
Oh my God. I didn't see that coming. Kindest man I ever met. More than that, who I knew and loved. Thank you. This is amazing. I can't even, is it like a painting? Is it a painting?
Yeah, off one of the
Gosh,
pictures.
absolutely unbelievable.
The presentation.
So I don't know if this will pick it up, but it's a picture. Looks like a painting of 80, and I took this picture. That this was made from actually up at my ranch. He's sitting there at my ranch. That's where I took the picture. And the quote is a famous quote. He's talking to Asa Williams. I can hear him say, Asa, Asa, Asa. You're having the time of your life and you don't even know it. And the context of that quote is that Asa's a young man who's overwhelmed with challenge and opportunity. And it was just, he was choking on it. There was so much challenge and opportunity that he didn't know how to handle it. And this is how Adi framed it. Oh, Asa, you're having the time of your life and you don't even know it.
Yep.
Thank you.
When you,
this is very, very special.
That one, you're very welcome, and thank you for everything that you do for not only myself, but the Power Players community. And that quote hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
It was Day of the Hanger, but then also referenced again at Power Players.
Yeah.
And it's when you're in a room and you're 14 hours in, and you're chopping up substitution of collateral,
right.
And that quote still applies.
Right. Right.
That's when you know you have.
You're with the right group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find. It's hard to find community Well, I mean, there's anything like this, and that's a testament to what you built, and then also the tribute to the mentors that you've had, and that's why I talk to people all the time about who's your tribe, who's your board of directors, right? Yeah. And your board of directors, I mean, it's like a Mount Rushmore, right? Of the ones that instilled in you the education that you're now passing on to.
Well, I obviously I was the blessed one, and to serendipitously meet AB. Perhaps the one of the things that I just cherish as much as anything is the hour-long CD I made with AB, just asking questions. And it's a part of the Master Series, and that hour-long CD, that digital recording is cherished. I had Dr. Shadow sitting right here in this chair, and just a few weeks ago he passed away. And as a matter of fact, this is crazy. I had made a montage of pictures of Dr. Shadow, and I made one for me framed, and I made another for Dr. Shadow's partner, and the same exact one. And I wrapped this one and I sent it to Dr. Shadow's partner, who's of course grieving. He's been with him for 40 years.
Yeah.
And then the one that I made for myself is hanging right up there in my office, and there's room for this one to go right next to it. It'll be the mentor room.
Yeah.
It's because nobody, this idea of being self-made is such an arrogant concept. I hear that and I just want to throw up on my shoes. That if you're blessed and you're paying attention, it takes both things. You realize that no one is self-made. And for me, oh my God, the contribution of my parents and the contribution professionally of AB and Tom Newman and Dr. Shadow. You said earlier you might not be sitting here without Jesse Mills. Well, it's the people and that start a reaction that leads you. I would not be here without AB and Dr. Shadow and Tom Newman. I don't even know if I had bought a piece of real estate in my life.
Right?
It's those things that happen that start the ball and you find yourself. We will definitely, they will all be remembered tomorrow, another day at the hangar tomorrow. That's not at the hangar anymore. We've grown out of it, but it's a day at the hangar tomorrow, and they all three will be honored tomorrow. I couldn't imagine talking about how I think or what I do without them. But there's just no way I could. I'd feel dirty. It's like this is the credit that is so due, that they inspired, that they got the ball rolling, that they started saying, hey, you might want to think about that in a different way. I can hear their voices in my head, all of them. I can hear their voices so clear. Their dialect, Newman, geez, I can just hear his nasally, and AB, the sweetest man in the world, and Dr. Shadow, bold and confident, and oh my God,
Call me God.
Just incredible. Yeah, just call me God. So no, the blessing of humanity, brother. I'm so excited for a couple of things. Okay, one, I'm excited that we're in a coaching relationship. It's going to be fun watching acquisition of property go to scalable means this year. I'm excited about that. You've already had a table captain role. I'm excited for you and watching you be a TA coming up. That's going to be exciting because you have a gift of teaching and your energy, your focus, and it's just going to be, wow. I just can feel this. The bar San Diego is calling your name, and the bar is going to raise, and the people are going to feel that. So that's going to be awesome. But aside from all the professional stuff in the real estate and even power players. I'm rounding third base, and the last run, I'm just looking forward to many moments. You gather moments. We've had them in Nashville, right? We've had them covered. We're stacking them up. I even got you really good and wet once on the boat.
Yeah. You just sound on and in.
But we caught a salmon. That's all we were trying to do. So many moments ahead, brother. And thank you for being here on this podcast. I want people to know how they get a hold of you. How do they follow you? And be careful, because he goes out to the world. So, give them the best route if there is one, and they'll follow that. Okay?
Yeah, I'm hiding in plain sight.
Yes, right.
Very active on social media. So, I mean, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, your LinkedIn.
How do they find you there?
Facebook at Walseth.
Walseth.
Yep.
Okay.
Instagram at Wallywood Boulevard, BLVD.
Wallywood Boulevard on
Yep.
Instagram.
And then LinkedIn, my name.
Yeah.
And
What about a phone number?
and I'm
Any number? Doesn't need to be yourself, but
oh yeah, no, and the thing is I'm a landlord, the phone's always on.
Right.
Better about putting it on silent at night. But phone number 612-770-1361. Call, text,
Perfect.
email,
There it is.
DM,
Got it.
whatever. I genuinely love to help, and I love to connect. I actually tonight there's a big Twin Cities Realtor Choice Awards that I'm not at.
You're not at.
And I'm up for an award that they think I'm going to be there for it. So if I win, I gave my my teammate, a couple words to say if I
Accepting on behalf of
to be here to do this and
it's an honor that you're
podcast panels, and then getting into presenting this year. So I have a goal of 10 full presentations. I'm 3 in. I have another one on Tuesday, a couple, after that. And the Power of Connection is the main one that I'm working on. I hired an agent that is placing me at different conferences, not just in the Twin Cities, but throughout the nation, through Minnesota Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors, but then also doing stuff like that. I mean, I love stuff like this and just chopping things up.
Maui. You'll be in Maui with a slotted alumni this year.
And that'll 1,000% be on the Power of Connection. So all the presentations I do between now and November is to lead up to that.
Ready so that you show your best game.
Sharpening my axe.
I like it.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
the bar's pretty high, so that's
I saw it in Nashville.
You saw it. It's pretty
there's
damn
some
high.
studs up there. And the
it.
delivery and the content and everything else. So I'm excited about that. And then deal structure.
Yeah.
And in the specifically the Twin Cities Power Players community is strong, robust, and successful, powerful.
It is. Yeah, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll have a dinner after a long day.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Listen, I really, really appreciate it, and I know that people will reach out to you once this is aired, and thank you again for making the trip, and for all of you who have taken the time to listen to this, take good notes. Of course, if I can help, if you've got any thoughts, comments, questions, run me down. You know how to do that. And until the next time, God bless you. God bless you all.
Cheers.
We did.